Hey guys, welcome to another installment of the TJZ Tech Show. My name's Thomas, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing the SmartyPig savings account as a whole. We're going to be focusing on the mobile banking aspect of it, such as using the application, giving you the pros and cons of using it, and my overall final recommendation. So without further ado, let's get to it. So in case you're unaware, SmartyPig is a high-yield online savings account. It's provided by Sallie Bank, so of course, being that it's a large bank, it is FDIC insured. And as of right now, in mid-2021, it looks like they're providing 0.7% APY, only up to $10,000. Then once you go over $10,000, you'll be getting 0.45%, which is still relatively competitive considering today's interest rates. That being said, this bank account does provide some of the best interest that you can receive from a large bank such as Sallie Mae, and the good thing about this account is it requires $0 for a minimum deposit. So what good is a mobile app review without actually doing some demonstrations of the app itself? So right here you can see I have the application loaded, and I have it on my goals page, which is the default landing page. And as you can see, of course, I have a goal set, and this one here is for a new car. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at it and kind of get into the meat and potatoes about what this application is all about. So let's go ahead and take a look at my goal here. And you'll see that it shows me a nice percentage of how far I am to meeting the goal. You have the goal name right up here up top, which is new car, of course. And then we have the current amount of money that you have in that account. And then below that, it shows your overall goal, the date that you're planning on achieving this, and the current percentage that you're receiving for this account. And then if you go below that, you can, of course, see your transaction history going all the way back till when you open the account. So that's basically the whole point of this whole app, is to create different goals within your account and give you a nice percentage to show you how far along towards those goals you are. We'll talk about this a little bit more further down on the video, but why don't we just give a quick sample of how to create a goal here. So first of all, you can start with your goal name right up at the top. We'll just give this a quick test name, and then you always have to pick a target date. So we're just going to go ahead and pick a random date in the future, and then you want to give it a target amount. 20,000, why not? Let's just make this for an electronics, and subcategory you have to pick TV, 20,000 TV, nice. And of course, just like any other online savings account, you can create reoccurring deposits, which is good if you have a specific date that you want to achieve this goal. It'll help keep you on track. You can go ahead and click continue. You can immediately start funding your account. You can also choose the frequency of how often you want the automatic payments to go through, and then you can even choose the date, etc. So we're just going to go ahead and leave it at that. Hopefully it lets me create it. Yeah, I didn't think so, but you get the point. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel out of this and just go back to my normal account. The next tab we have here is the transfer tab, and this allows you to transfer your money to and from your accounts. You can also transfer between your different goals here. You can see this is my main SmartyPig account at the top here. I have nothing in there right now because it's all in my goal. And then the external account that I have linked is my checking account. So for example, if you wanted to transfer money out of SmartyPig, you would just choose your account. In my case, it would be the goal, and then I could just transfer it to the checking account. So you'll see earlier that I mentioned my SmartyPig account, that if you go to the My Account tab, you'll basically see all the money that you have in your main account. I'm going to have to blur this out because it has my account number. But what happens is when you transfer money to your account, it's going to automatically come into your SmartyPig account. It doesn't go towards a goal. So you have to wait for the money to come into your account. As you can see, I have a list of different transfers in and out. So before we go any further, let's go over the pros and cons, because there are a few cons. Unfortunately, the SmartyPig's a great service, but the application needs a little bit of work. We'll start with the pros here. So you can do the basics with this app, such as viewing balances and making transfers, as you can see here. As I already mentioned, this is provided by Sallie Bank, which of course is a large bank, and of course that means that it's FDIC insured. And with that being said, for it being a large bank, they do provide some of the best interest rates that you can achieve as of right now. The other pros, as I mentioned and as I demonstrated here, you can create easy accounts that makes it very easy to see your progress towards reaching these goals. And you can of course set the reoccurring transfers. But what are the cons? Because I mentioned that there's a couple of bad things about this application, and the first, which is kind of big, is that you cannot complete advanced functions through this app, like linking external accounts. If you wanted to add another account, as you see here, I have my Chase checking account. And if I go into the settings of the app, there's no way that you can add an additional account. And that's what kind of sucks about this, is you have to log on to the actual website itself, and then you have to do it through there. And the same thing goes for verifying these accounts. You have to wait for the trial deposits to go through, and then you still can't do that through the app. You have to, again, log on to the website, which is not really a big problem, but there's a lot of other apps out there that let you do it straight from the app itself. So like I said, it needs a little bit of work. The app also does not display what date the funds will be made available. So if you transfer it from your bank account to your My account, you won't see the transactions in your transaction history here until it's been completely processed. And that can be kind of confusing. So what you have to do is, again, log on to the actual website, and then you'll see that the transfer is actually pending, and it even gives you an estimate of when it will be made available into your account. And of course, unfortunately, you don't see that here until it's completely processed. Another thing you may consider to be a con is the kind of cartoonish aspect about the app. For example, you have the pig right there. I really wouldn't myself consider this a con, but there may be some people that are not a fan of that kind of style. And the reason why they do it is because this app is really targeted for young investors, for people that are maybe in college or just getting out of college, hence it being provided by Sallie Mae Bank anyways, and their history with student loans. And that's why they give you this nice layout that shows your progress towards reaching these goals. It kind of helps the young investors get a little bit more motivated to keep saving instead of spending. The final con that I have for this service in general is that the interest rate does go down once you get over $10,000. Again, since this is aimed for younger investors, reaching $10,000 might take a little bit of time, but even then, seeing that they're providing 0.45%, that's still not the worst that's out there. That's definitely still pretty good, but it's just something to keep in mind. So with the pros and cons out of the way, I'd figure I'd dive in a little bit further to how my experience has been using the application for the last few months. One thing I would like to note is that if you want to transfer money to SmartyPig, the best way to do it is just by doing it from your bank. That is, if your bank doesn't charge you any fees for transferring money, that way it's made available a lot sooner. So example, if I were to go into my transfer and, and let's say that I wanted to transfer from my checking account to my SmartyPig account, and we'll choose the goal from right here. And let's say I were to choose an amount to transfer. If I were to click submit, it would take upwards of close to 5 business days for this to process. Whereas instead, if I were to go into my Chase app and then initiate the transfer through there, it would take closer to 2 to 3 business days. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to get your money into the account a little bit sooner. Another thing I'd mention is for anybody that's new and is looking to save, this is not technically financial advice, but it is important to remember that you really shouldn't rely on high interest savings accounts like this for long-term savings. The good thing about this is that they do promote your goals, so that means that you're trying to target a specific goal or interest that you need to save for, and you definitely don't want to save for retirement using this account. And the reason why is because your interest rate is much lower than your average inflation rate, which is usually on average about 2 to 2.5%. So you end up losing your purchasing power if you keep your money in here for a long time, so that's something to keep in mind. So to wrap things up here, I'd like to conclude on my final thoughts of the application. There are, of course, a few things I would like to see improved. Overall, SmartyPig is a great service, and I do highly recommend it for short-term savings goals. My overall rating for this app would be 3 out of 5. However, my rating for the SmartyPig service in general would be a 5 out of 5. For the reasons that I mentioned earlier, I would definitely like to see some changes made to the application, but I think it's a great start. Unfortunately, it's not a brand new application. It's been around for some time, so I would have expected to see a little bit more progress. In fact, I've had the app installed for quite a few months, and I probably recall seeing it updated only once, and even then it didn't change too much. So hopefully we see more in the ways of app development, but other than that, like I said, great service and highly recommended. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. I hope this helped. If you're new and on your way out and this video helped you at all, take a moment to drop a like, and also if you like content like this, don't forget to subscribe and ding that damn bell. Until next time, peace out.